JB had something that I thought was really interesting in his presser. And I think maybe some people maybe missed it. He said he wants to make it fun for the young guys. So my
Yeah.
question to you is, what do you think of him saying he wants to make it fun for the Detroit Pistons, and how important do you think that is for a young rebuilding team like the Pistons?
I think it's huge because they're at a point where basketball hasn't been fun. This isn't a situation where you're a contending team and the fun is the chase of a title. Like the Celtics are not coming in to have fun. Like these guys are coming in serious and understanding that it's a business and it's a lot at stake right here. The Pistons are kind of at the floor level of what they need to be doing in terms of their development. And why not start with making things more fun? He called it a fun situation in terms of the development for this team. Like he spoke to plans of what he wanted to do. And I think it makes a lot of sense, especially based on the kind of coach that he is. He's 45, 44 years old, so he's the youngest coach through Cade's tenure thus far. Like Monty was older, Dwayne Casey was older. And like granted, you could have respect for those older guys who have been there, done that, but they're coming into it. Those guys were coming from situations where they were at winning products and winning teams, but they were also older at the same time. So now you're a younger coach coming in with a younger team, understanding what they just went through. You just played against them 4 times over the past couple seasons as the rival coach with Cleveland. He understands what it takes to relate to them, and he spoke directly to that. I think he's showing that as well with the coaches he's brought in, like we talked about earlier, having, former players like kind of come speak to what's necessary for them to, enhance their development and just finding different ways to make the game fun for them. Like again, it killed me to see Cade and Ivy and Duran in the middle of that losing streak and just, oh, we got to be better next time. And see the look on their face, even when they won, it's like when they celebrated, like, oh, it feels so good to have this. Like it shouldn't, like this feeling should not exist. You shouldn't be on cloud 9 after one regular season win. So they don't really even understand like the correct emotion of how to like navigate through a season yet, based on all the struggling that they've gone through. So I like that that's the start. It's not like he spoke to not wanting to rush a winning timeline. He said the playoffs are going to come when they come. But for right now, we want these guys to have fun, embrace the position that they're in, and let the wins carry how they're supposed to. Like, I love that he spoke to that. I think that's very important for a young team.
Me too. I think, even when the Detroit Pistons started rebuilding, when they traded away Andre Drummond, and they're getting all these guys, and I want to give Casey credit because Casey never really would show his hand. He was always positive, and the guys genuinely liked playing for him. I don't know if he made it fun, but JB seems like he wants to make it fun, and his answer to the question that was asked was like, we're going to be on the road a lot. We're going to be around each other a lot. It's like when the guys come in to work out, he's just like, I want everyone from the staff to be smiling in a good mood, because that's going to just be infectious all the way down from like Hooper to Cade Cunningham. Like we want
Right.
this whole organization to just be on the same page, be positive, be happy, and try to get better and build a brand new culture basically in Detroit. And I think that's the first step to, getting back to the Detroit Pistons winning ways that a lot of fans were accustomed to for several years.
I talked about Jared Jack challenging that play in the Summer League game. The energy that JB Bickerstaff coaches with, I think matches the energy of the players, because we saw a lot of chirping from the Pistons to the officials. We saw a lot of like emotion of like them just being frustrated and being kind of tired with what was going on. And Monty would just sit on the bench with like the Jim Caldwell face. It's like he didn't know what was going on. Like it took that New York Knicks game where they got screwed over in that last call to end the game for him to finally wake up and say, hey, how can we change this? Or where's the New York media now? JB Bickerstaff comes with that energy all the time. Everybody's seen the clip where he's talking to the official. He said, oh, that's BS, but okay. And he gives that kind of moxie all the time. I think that kind of stuff is infectious with a young team. Like if I'm a player and I'm seeing my coaches riding for me, that makes me want to ride for him that much harder. Like Cade, when he was yelling, he got teched up in that same New York Knicks game, and he's talking to Monty, like, yo, he just teched me. And Monty just stares at him and doesn't say anything. Like, bruh, Can you fight for your team and show that you actually care? That's the kind of stuff that gets their emotion channeled in better ways. It makes the game more fun. It makes coming to work a lot more fun because you know that your boss got your back. Your coach got your back. And that kind of makes a lot of difference. I didn't see that kind of connection with Monty and the players last season. And I think JB is going to turn that around immediately with the team.
So the last coach I will say that had that same type of energy was Stan Van Gundy. Stan Van Gundy was very energetic. He would tell a player if they sucked. He wouldn't give him a high five. Like, he would call a ref out. He'd say that's bullshit. I think that's the type of energy these players need because they're so young. They don't know how to win. They need some sort of direction. And I think having a coach like JB makes more sense for them because you look at all the Cleveland Cavaliers stuff, like they had a junkyard chain, like a player of the game. Bring that to Detroit. Bring that type of energy to Detroit because those players are going to want to get a player of the game chain every game. Because now you're creating competition in the locker room amongst all your teammates. You're creating a culture. And I think that's what he wants to do and try to bring to the Pistons.
I'm all for any kind of idea. Victory buffs, whatever you want to do. Something that's got to get some fun. Because he talked about wanting to establish an identity with the team. And that kind of goal, those kind of goals, like real obtainable things to do like that makes it more fun. It gives them something different to chase for without just thinking, hey, we're going to get to the playoffs. We're going to get to the postseason. That's not in their near window right now. They don't need to be worried about that. Iron out the X's and O's, have some fun with your team, build that camaraderie. And, like, again, they weren't able to do that last season with all the injuries that they had, the trades that they had towards the end of the deadline. Like, they just didn't have the ability to build that. And I think it's a completely different wave right now with Bickerstaff on the bench. I'm super excited to see what he brings here.
So you're gonna have to trademark this because the people love the victory buffs.
Let's go.
That you just suggested. Victory buffs. I mean, if anyone at the the Detroit Pistons social team is listening or watching, let's get some victory buffs after every win for the Detroit Pistons.
Please. I want 10% if they do it. I want 10% in free pizza if they make it happen. Let's go.
Man, those Little Caesar pizzas at LCA get kind of pricey. I ain't gonna lie, man.
Oh my goodness, you ain't lying, man. It's too much.
I don't know what they put in them, but they're 10 times better than the Little Caesar pizza you get on the street. I don't know what it is. It just tastes better.
Helps us get through these kind of games. I'll tell you that much.
True.